Hello. I'm gonna show you how I made this cute little bouncing piggy ball here. I'm gonna show you the difference between video layers, which are these blue ones, and video groups, which are these purple ones. Also, gonna show you how to use Photoshop actions to kind of make animating in Photoshop easier. You don't have to download any plugins. I did use a drawing tablet for this, but you could make this without a drawing tablet if you wanted to follow along. So, yeah. I'm in Photoshop. I clicked, we're making a new canvas. It's up to you. I'm gonna do 1000 by 1000 pixels. Leave the resolution 300. Again, it's up to you. Create. Okay. Now, to bring up the timeline for animation, go up to Window. I'm sorry, you can't see that on my screen, but I'm clicking Window, and I'm going down to Timeline. So Window, Timeline. Drag it up a little bit. Click Create Video Timeline. This is the most important thing, because if you don't do this, if you don't do this at the beginning and you try to do it at the end, it could mess up your whole project. So the first thing we need to do is set the frame rate. You can see down here, it's at 30 frames per second. That means 30 frames or 30 drawings for 1 second. That's a lot. So I usually do 24. So we're gonna come over here to this timeline menu. Oh, sorry. This timeline menu right here. And we're gonna click on it and go to set timeline frame rate. And we're gonna do 24. Okay. We'll zoom in a little bit. So we have two options for animating. First option is a thing called a video group. So what that is, I just made a new layer, and I'm bringing that layer down so it's 2 frames long. If I do that again, I have 2 frames that are 2 frames long, but they're right on top of each other. So if I drag this frame into it, it creates a video group. Alright, and then I can just make new frames. I can have it as many frames long as I want, just keep adding them to the video group, and we can do that. That is a video group. I'm just gonna delete that for now. Just the basics. Now, the next one we can do is a video layer. So if you go up to Layer, Video Layers, New Blank Video Layer. And what that does, it creates a whole video sequence. So, for example, that's a 1, by the way. Can't see that, hold on. So if you do 1, and then we move ahead a frame, that's 2, and that's 3. And there we go, that's our animation. I like to use the keyboard to move frames. So to turn that on, you can go back to this little menu option. Enable timeline shortcut keys. So that allows me to use the arrow keys on my keyboard to switch back and forth between frames. Alright, so that's the 2 ways that you can do it. We're going to use both, but first we're going to use the video groups. I prefer it. It's a preference thing. I'll explain why at the end when we have both together so you can see the difference. But we're gonna do it that way. So let me rename this layer. This is our background. Alright, that's our background. Now, I'm gonna make a new frame. And I'm gonna do what I did before. Gonna drag this guy all the way down so it's 2 frames long. Then I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna drag it now to video group. Now, if we were to do that every time, it would be terrible. So we're gonna make a Photoshop action that creates a 2 frames long. So we're just gonna put it to a hotkey so we can just hit that hotkey and do it as many times as we want. So we don't have to do it manually. So for a Photoshop action, we're gonna go up to Window again. We're gonna go to Actions. Window Actions. If you've never used these before, they're incredible. It's basically any multi-step thing that you want to repeat in Photoshop. You can record it, make it an action, and then repeat it with a hotkey. So, Actions. I'm gonna click this button right here to make a new one. We're gonna call it Add to Framer. Function key. All right, let's do it F2. So we'll make it Shift F2. Color, I don't know. I don't know what that does. Let's make it orange. All right, so when I hit record, I'm gonna record the action, and then I'm gonna hit stop, and then after that, it'll be mapped to the hotkey Shift F2. So here we go. New frame. Down to 2. Stop. There we go. And then when I hit Shift F2, you can see right there, it adds 2 frames, 2 frames, 2 frames. And that makes life much, much easier for animation in Photoshop. Yeah, so the canvas is all set up now. It's all ready to go. Before I start drawing, I'm gonna rename video group 1. Gonna name it Bouncing Ball. All right. On the background, if you want to zoom in and out, you can hold Alt and use your mouse wheel. That's how I'm doing that. But on the background, so I want a ground level. I hit B to get my brush, and then I just draw the ground, so I know where the ball is going to bounce. And that, since my background is whatever it is, 5 seconds long, it's going to be on every frame, so I can see it on every frame. Okay. I'm going to get out my pencil, or a pencil-like. Okay, turn on my pen pressure. Okay. So, I'm on frame number 1. And you can see that it's highlighted. If I were to, let's say I had frame 2 highlighted, but my playhead was on frame 1, you can see it's not letting me. You gotta be on, it's gotta be highlighted. And you gotta click on it to highlight it. Makes perfect sense. Alright. So, frame's highlighted. That's a little too big. Control Z is your best friend. Command Z on Mac. I'm gonna turn on some smoothing here since I can't draw. There we go. So it went away. I want to do onion skins. To do that, we go back to this menu behind my head. Click on it and enable onion skins. If you want to change the settings, you can change how many frames it goes back and forth. You can change the opacity, but I'm just gonna leave it. Now, so I want to see this ball. I want to see this last frame. So I want to bring this frame to the end. Now, a little shortcut trick to do that. Highlight the frame, hold Alt, and drag it. There we go. Now I just copy dragged it all the way to the end. I want this to loop, so I'm gonna drag this little endpoint right here, drag it to the end of my frames, and let's check it out. Oh. It's not looping. Yeah, so we can go click on this little gear right here, loop playback. And this is a resolution. If you ever have more complex drawings or a bigger canvas, you might want to turn this down because the playback can be slow sometimes. All right, so I'll loop it now. So one of the advantages of using the video groups instead of the video layers that I showed earlier. So right now these are all on 2s. There's one drawing for 2 frames. We can make these 1s. So basically when there's faster motion, 1s would make sense. So when the ball speeds up, I'm gonna make those 1s. I'm just dragging the frames in the timeline to 1 instead of 2. And let's just see how it looks. Alright, so you can see the difference. put them almost all on ones, except for the top when it slows down. Maybe we can delete this last one because it's a double. Yeah, there we go. Looks less stiff, a little more movement. So that's why I prefer the video groups. And let's say I didn't like that, I could make these all 2s again. I can make these 3s. You can drag out the frame as long as you want. I only use the other option, the video layers, once the animation is basically set in stone, and then I wanna draw something on top of it. But if you're not exactly sure, I think video groups is the way to go. I wanna draw like line work, inked lines on top of that. That's just a pencil. I'm gonna make a new layer. Actually, I'm gonna use my Shift F2, and so it makes a layer that's 2 frames. Right now, it's not in a video group. So I'll do it again, and then drag them together. Now it's in the video group. Alright, I'm gonna get my... Take that one. I'm gonna turn smoothing up, because I can't draw. I'm gonna turn pen pressure off. Alright, let's do some color. So video group 1, you are lined. We're gonna do the same Shift F2 to add a new. I'm still gonna use video groups. Alright, so we have full blank group. I'm gonna call this color. Alright, I got this pink color. So, another, well, not a trick, I guess. It's just how you use the program, but a trick is, if I get my magic wand tool, and I highlight the lines. Now, I go down to the color section, I hit G to bring up my paint bucket tool. I got my pink ready, and I fill it in. But now, you'll notice there's like a white, it's not full. It didn't complete it fully. So, another way to use Photoshop actions. Here, let me show you, so I'm gonna undo that. Alright, so we have this little outline, these little marching ants. There is a way to expand those. So if we go to, I think it's Select, Modify, Expand. Yeah, so in the top, I'm sorry you can't see it. we go to select, modify, expand. And we're gonna expand it. Let's just say let's do 4 pixels because the line is thick. All right, so there you go. So it just moved out. Now, when we color, it fills it in completely. Again, if we were to do that every single time, if we were to do the select, modify, expand every single time, that would be too much. So we're gonna turn it into a Photoshop action again. Let me cancel that for 1 second. I'm gonna highlight that before I record. Now I'm gonna do it. Expand 4 pixels. Shift F3, color, whatever. Record, select, modify, expand. Okay. Stop. Alright, so let's see if it worked. Let's go to the next one. Okay, W, magic wand tool, select. I forget what, F3? Yeah, okay, shift F3. There we go. Come down to the color, fill. I like this pink color. It's probably not the best idea to do this, but because if you look close up, it's not good. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Alright, so I'm gonna collapse lines and colors. I'm gonna add just another frame, shift F2. And I'm just gonna draw the face that I want. So now is when I'm gonna use a video layer. So my animation, it's pretty much set, right? Like I want the balls bouncing. I know I'm not gonna change anything else, maybe a color, maybe something, but the foundation of the animation is set. So now I'm gonna use a video layer. I'm gonna go to layer, video layers, new blank video. And this is basically on ones now. I'm gonna start with just the eyes, just the white part, to get the rotation of the pig's face. So he's gonna come, he's gonna rotate down, he's gonna hit, and he's gonna come back up. Alright, so underneath, gonna make another video layer. Blank video layer. Put it underneath. Just make it fit. Ear color, that's it. So that's it. That is animation in Photoshop. I think this was a pretty good tutorial, kind of mixing the two styles. Now, a lot of this is preference on whether you use the video layer or the video group. Now, if you know the difference, if you know pose-to-pose animation or straight-ahead animation, if you know the difference, I would say the video groups are good for pose-to-pose, and the video layers are good for straight-ahead. If you don't know what those are, then just use either one. Do video groups. I think they're better. Yeah, and I like the way they look in the timeline. Like right there, you can see the how long each frame goes, and you can stretch it out. You can change the timing. Yeah, so I prefer the video groups. If you want to export this, what you can do is you can render the video, so you can export it as like an MP4. If you want to do a GIF or a GIF, then you go to Save for Web, and it brings up this, and you've got all kinds of properties, all kinds of things you can. All kinds of things you can do with it, and then you save it, and that's it. Usually I take this and I put it into After Effects, and then I do some stuff with it. I just put the whole Photoshop document into After Effects. Yeah, that's it. For more animation stuff, check out these videos or check out my channel. Goodbye.